Hi, and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is another in the series of the Rise of the Divine Feminine readings that I've been doing as we collectively tap into our divine feminine energy. So if you're new to my channel, listen to those birds. If you're new to my channel, please like, share and subscribe, and welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the message. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator. So if you call to any of those, the links to those can be found in the description box. Now, as I said, I'm picking up on divine feminine energy. As a collective, we are going through a particular spiritual awakening because we have been in very out of balance divine masculine energy. Divine masculine is the Emperor, number 4 card in the tarot. Divine feminine is the Empress. It's the number 3 card in the tarot. Internal spiritual nurturing, and we need that in order to balance out our divine masculine energy. Now, male or female, divine feminine, divine masculine energy is not gender specific. We all hold those energies within us. But as I said, currently the collective is too heavy on the divine masculine side. It's a collective awakening as we head into the change of the lunar nodes, which is in January next year, so only a couple of months away. The lunar nodes change into Pisces, and Pisces is spirituality. Currently, the lunar nodes are in, or the north node is in Aries. Aries, as I said, is the Emperor. Really strong Mars energy. What I just heard was it's a softening. We're going through a softening. Now, today is the 4th of October, a very special day for me because it is actually my grandfather's birthday. He passed away many years ago. But the energy I'm picking up on is the energy of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Now, she is the Divine Mother. She's the Empress of Protection. She is the divine, the softening, the divine mother that we have within all of us. And because for me today, there's been many, well, actually over the past few weeks, there's been many references to grandfathers, grandmothers, things in my life which I can now look back on and realize that it's all connected. And this is what this Our Lady of Guadalupe is, the Empress of Protection. You have ancestors, passed over loved ones, living loved ones, knowingly or unknowingly, who have been guiding you on your journey to tapping into connecting, to softening your divine feminine energy. It's a recognition of the connection between the past and the present. Now, as I said, I've been doing a series of these divine feminine readings as a collective. As I said, we are all tapping in to this energy. And there are varying different ways that we do that. So if you call to, you are most welcome to find that playlist. I will link it in the description. Now, Our Lady of Guadalupe is also known as the Virgin Mary. When I did my pre-shuffle, so that's mother energy, Empress energy. If you think of the Empress card in the tarot, it's Venus, Aphrodite. It is, the Empress card can often be seen as a pregnant woman. Something within you that you are birthing because you, no, that's actually because you are going through a softening. And when you actually birth a baby, your cervix actually goes through a softening. So interesting that I channeled that word. It's okay. Good boy. Now, Now, I don't know whether you heard, but my dog was starting to, he could hear the postman up the street. Postman beeps his little horn on his bike to alert somebody that there's a parcel delivered or parcel being delivered. There's something here about messages coming through. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of information about Our Lady of Guadalupe. So she appeared to a Spanish priest, I think, Juan Diego, on December 9th, 1531. And she appeared as an apparition. I think she appeared to him 4 times and he wasn't believed. And in one of the apparitions, she told him to go and find a Castilian rose. Now, that was something that wasn't native to Mexico. 1531, obviously not something that was readily available. But she told him where to find it. And he went to the top of this mountain, found it, and took it back to somebody within the church, which actually proved the validity of the apparition that he had received. A message that he was receiving. The song that I was getting was BB Rex's If It's Meant to Be. It's about messages coming through to you all the time, but are you listening? Do you know that you are actually protected? And maybe this is what's waking up within you, within this rise of the divine feminine energy within you. As I said, today is the 4th of October. It is my grandfather's birthday. He was a very, very avid and very, very prolific, amazing grower of orchids. He had a knack for orchids. I'm not a green thumb. I have been trying to grow orchids for years and years and years. And last year, in the lead up to the 4th of October, I had been nurturing this orchid that I had. And I had been talking and praying to him and asking for help and guidance, and things had been coming through in my feed that I wouldn't necessarily search for, just random things, random little tips and hints and things that for me were coming from my grandfather. Messages coming from my grandfather about how to grow an orchid. And the most beautiful thing happened. I had nurtured this orchid. It had a little bulb on it. And I was praying and praying and praying in the lead up to the 4th of October last year that it would bloom and wouldn't die, because normally they got to a bulb stage and then they just fell off and I'd be so disheartened. Last year on the 4th of October, it bloomed, which was his birthday. There is an intertwining here for you. And whether you've started to pick up on it, you're already picking up on it, or this reading is the activation or the encouragement for you to stop and listen to the signs. Because connecting with your divine feminine energy is connecting with your intuition. Knowing that everything is intertwined, knowing that everything is connected. Everything may feel like it's out of balance, but it's actually in balance. Now, the other thing that happened this morning was first thing I do in the morning is I go onto Facebook and I check my memories, things that have happened over the years, specifically with my kids and stuff like that. For me, the number 77 and the number 33 have been from a spiritual journey, and the number 111 have been things that have been popping up for me for years and years and years and years and years. If you've been watching my readings, 77 is a number that I talk about all the time. It's within this tarot deck that I've drawn. I talk about quite frequently the story of Jacob and Rachel, and the reason being is from a very, very early age, I was made aware of that story. And I'm talking about Jacob and Rachel in the Bible, which is referencing that number of 7 and 7. Jacob had to work for Rachel's father for 7 years in order to marry Rachel. And then at the point where he was to marry her, her father tricked him and married her to his sister. So in order to marry her again, he had to work for another 7 years. That's 7, 7 number. And it's a personal connection with me because my name is Rachel and my maiden name was Jacob. So it's always been intertwined. It's a very, very spiritual number also. But back in 1987, last century, when I made my confirmation, my grandfather gave me, and his surname was Jacob, my grandfather gave me a Bible as a gift. And I was clearing out some of my closets and I found it. And then 1987, I was actually in grade 7. And so I had proudly made this cover, which I've since taken off. This Bible belongs to Rachel Jacob. And so that was the first thing that popped out when I picked up this Bible, and I thought, oh, it's just a random Bible. I'd forgotten who'd given it to me. And I've got it here. Confirmation date, 1987. But within it was a card that my grandfather had put in, and he asked within it, and I don't even remember reading the card, but he asked me within the card, he said, please read this passage in the Bible. Now, I had not opened that card until the other day. I probably opened it on the day of the confirmation, but, made no reference. And where he'd actually bookmarked the Bible, and I knew when I opened it up, when I opened the card the other day, and I read the passage that he wanted me to read, and where he bookmarked the Bible, by the way that the little bookmark was, I knew I'd never opened it up to that page. And I'm going to show you. That's the passage he wanted me to read, 111. As I said, 7733 and 111 have been numbers that I have been hearing. Now I'm 50 next year. There are messages coming through to you all the time from passed over loved ones, from your guides, your angels, your ancestors, connecting you, trying to connect you with your divine feminine energy through many different forms. I get messages through music because that's something I listen to all the time. But other people in your past over loved ones, will send you messages in ways that are connected to them. He was incredibly connected to the Bible. My other grandfather, so this is my two grandfathers, my other grandfather was connected to orchids. So the 4th of October today, this time last year, the orchid bloomed. Little ways that as you connect with your divine feminine energy, you actually realize that everything is intertwined. And you don't have to prove anything. It's like an inner knowing that message was meant for you. You just have to trust. Now, as I said, 77 and 33. Number 3 is the Empress. It's creativity. Number 7 is the Chariot. It's Cancer. It's the Moon. It's internal nurturing. It's personal growth. But 7-7, for me, takes me back to 7 and the 7. Jacob and Rachel in the Bible. And this morning when I opened up, as I said, I opened up my Facebook page and looked at the memories. 10 years ago, my kids, who are now in their 20s, competed in, they were swimmers, competed in their first open water swimming competition. Thousands of kids competed that day, and they're all randomly given a race number. My daughter got 7-7 and my son got 3-3. There will be numbers in your life that have a spiritual significance that you may or may not be aware of, that connect you back to something or someone from your past, and they're meant to be breadcrumbs in a trail on your journey to connecting with your divine feminine energy, to connecting with your intuition. That song, if it's meant to be, it will be. Meaning that you don't have to do anything. It's already laid out for you. It's already a roadmap. Now, that Lady of Guadalupe, they actually built a basilica, I think, in Mexico, on the ruins of a temple that the Spanish had destroyed. Interesting that this is coming in at the moment, given the current play in the world where they're looking at destroying temples or have destroyed temples. There's a connection here to faith as well, internal faith, internal knowing. Now, I didn't get any cards come out when I did my pre-shuffle, but what I was drawn to was this little key. The roadmap that you're looking for is actually within, and it's actually connected to your past loved ones. The Empress of Protection. I am safe and divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. You're being guided by people that have been woven into your life in the past. What I did do is I put on Gregorian chants, which clears the energy for me prior to a reading. It's the monks of the Abbey of Notre Dame, and it's all in Latin, and I just put it on. If you want to clear the energy in your house, but you're not a particular fan of that music, just put it on really, really low, and it clears the energy. The song that I got was Final Angelus Bells. Now that is a song that starts off with 3 bell chimes, and it just goes ding, 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 and then waits a bit, and then another 3, and then another 3. Again, that number 3, highly spiritual number, this spiritual journey that you are on. But that song is about Angel Gabriel coming to Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe, who is the Virgin Mary, and giving her a message that she is about to birth something. Number 3, the Empress card. Venus, about to birth something. You are about to birth within you your divine feminine, or it's already growing within you. And as I said, Angel Gabriel was a messenger. My dog barking when the postman comes. A messenger. What does a postman do? Delivers messages in the form of mail. And sometimes the messages don't come through in a way that you can interpret them. I connect with birds. One of my grandfathers was obsessed with birds. So I always listened for the birds. And this morning, I was hearing this really funny bird. It almost sounded like an alarm. And I checked my phone and it wasn't my phone. And I went to pick up my phone to record the sound. And then I realized that it was my dryer. It was out of balance and it was a little alarm on my dryer. So you might be thinking that you're getting a message one way, but it's actually something else. But the message within the dryer was the same. It means that something is out of balance. Perhaps maybe the way that you are trying to interpret a message is out of balance. So I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to get just an overview first, and then I'm going to look at where you are and where you're going. Pulling in this energy of Our Lady of Guadalupe. This is Divine Mother, something, divine feminine energy that you are nurturing within with the help of passed over loved ones. Okay, let's have a look. This is my Divine Messages Oracle deck. Obstacles are lessons in disguise. Okay, so it's a journey. Release control, perfectly blind. Some things are meant to be hidden. That to me suggests that you, as I said, you can't go looking for it. It will come to you. And perhaps it comes to you at a time when you are in balance. We've just had the solar eclipse in Libra. Now, Libra is the card of balance. Libra is also Venus. So Empress energy. Libra is the scales. Obstacles are lessons in disguise. Maybe you felt out of balance in your divine feminine, divine masculine energy, or maybe you were in a situation where you found yourself in either really heavy divine feminine energy, so maybe a bit too up in the clouds, or really heavy divine masculine energy. Sometimes you can go, like I said, I assumed that it was a bird talking to me when I was listening for that bird this morning. I'd gone too spiritual. I was a little out of balance, but there was still a message in it. And that's what tapping into your divine feminine energy is. A recognition that there's always a message within a message. Like those messages in that Bible. It's all intertwined. There could be something in your name. Even, have a look at the street that you live in. What's the name? What's the meaning of the street? Why did you buy a house? Or why are you living in an apartment in the street where you live? What's the meaning of the name of that street? What's your house number? What are the meanings within your name? Things that you can't control, meaning you can control whether you buy a house in that street, but you were the one who named that street. Like me, I wasn't the one who named myself, but my name has meaning. And it's through tapping into your divine feminine energy that you get the bigger picture. You learn where you are on the map. But it's all hidden until you tap into your divine feminine energy. Let's have a look at what angel is walking with you. Wow. How beautiful. Michael, perseverance, adversity, conflict, and success. Archangel Michael is the angel of truth. Truth coming to you in messengers. Truth coming to you in messages as you tap into this energy. Now, I'm going to have a look. That is so interesting. So Archangel Michael is associated in the tarot with the Chariot, which is number 7. And as I said to you, 3 and a 7 are numbers that I have been seeing, numbers that I saw this morning, numbers that are referenced to my connection with the Bible. I'm giving you examples of things in my life, and I think my guides are using me to give you examples of how everything is connected. Now, the other thing that's been happening, this particular angel rules over all of the archangels, but he's associated with Psalm 91:10. Now, yesterday I did a reading and I had ambulance sounds coming through the reading. 3 times yesterday. I had to move to the side of the road so an ambulance could come through when I was driving. It was just one of those days where there were ambulances everywhere. Now in Australia, when you call emergency services, it's 000. But obviously, worldwide, everybody knows 911. Psalm 91:10. The numbers are 911. 9/11 is also meant to be the actual date of birth of Jesus. And when you think about Archangel Gabriel, which was that song, Final Angelus Bells, Archangel Gabriel coming to Mary to tell her that she was going to have a baby. Guadalupe is the Virgin Mary, the mother of that baby. Some sort of truth coming out for you in hidden. Some things are meant to be hidden. It's like a treasure map. And I find this whole process so interesting. It's like a treasure map. Number 7, as I said, the Chariot. 7 is nurturing. 7 is mothering energy, something that you're meant to nurture. And I think too, as you tap more and more into your divine feminine energy, you receive more and more pieces of the puzzle. Okay, let's get a card from, this is my Lovebirds Tarot deck. Yeah, look at that, Page of Wands. So in this particular deck, their love is a secret. It's a love deck. Their love is a secret. So you can read this card. Page of Wands is an explorer. You can read this card 2 ways. This could be you, and you've got your ancestors, your guides, your passed over loved ones watching you, guiding you. But if you read it the way of, it's a secret. It has to be hidden. Their connection has to be hidden. That's talking about these hidden messages, these hidden nuggets of wisdom that connect you with your past to move you forward to your future. Our Lady of Guadalupe energy is the Divine Mother. So it's hidden within connections in your lineage, is what I want to say. Page of Wands that you've got to explore. The card of the Explorer, the 8 of Wands on the bottom, which is the card of movement. The 8 of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is communication. Now, I looked up today's date, the 4th of October, 2024. In numerology, all those numbers add up. When you add them up all together, it comes to the number 1. Number 1 is the Magician. The Magician is ruled by Mercury. In the traditional meaning of the tarot, the Magician is you have all the tools that you need, everything that you need for this divine feminine journey that you're on. To tap into your intuition is there, like that Bible sitting in my cupboard for literally 30 years. It's there. You just haven't seen it yet, or you're starting to see it. You don't have to go outside yourself to find what you're looking for. This is really lovely. So Castella Roses could be significant to you. Orchids could be significant to you. Those numbers 111, 3377 could be significant to you. Or if you have other flowers, birds, numbers that are relevant to you, write them down. Find out the meanings of things that you are seeing repetitively. Actually, I just think, I said 33 and 77 were the numbers on my kids' arms. The first family house that we bought, we lived on number 73. And again, a number 3 and a 7. It's all within, it's all hidden. Okay, let's find out where you are. Ace of Cups. In this context, so that is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The Ace of Cups is an internal filling of your own cup. This spiritual connection that you're starting to wake up to within yourself, if you haven't already. And that's the Dove. That reminds me of the chalice. It's a connection between, it's a divine blessing that you have. And it's a connection between you, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, and the divine. Whoa, 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 whoa. The Ace of Swords. That's Archangel Michael, holds the sword of truth. Swords are Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So it's your mind, but it's a balance within your mind that's bringing in this communication. And as I said, the more you tune into it, It's almost like you open up the floodgates. And my daughter and I are like this at the moment. You know, we were driving the other day in the car, and we were on the main highway. And if you're looking at your satellite navigation, for us, it was on a big screen that was kind of inbuilt within the car. And all it showed was the highway that we were on, but either side of the highway was suburbia. And it didn't show any of the street names or anything. I think more so because we were just driving, 100 kilometers an hour down the highway. And we started talking about Gaza. And as we started talking about Gaza, randomly in this patch of area that had no street names on it, Gaza Road popped up. Or we will go out to dinner. And she's incredibly connected. And she will have already had a knowing of where we are going to sit before we sit down. And we always get put on table number 7. This stuff could have been happening all the time to you, but you may not have been aware of it, just like that Bible in my cupboard. May not have been aware of the significance of these little messages that you've been getting, but you're waking up to it. A spiritual awakening because you're getting a truth. It was the Knight of Wands wanting to come out. The King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus is, in this context, is Mother Earth. It's that mothering energy. The Empress is Taurus. The Empress is Venus. It's building your spiritual wealth. And the King of Pentacles is Jupiter in Taurus. Again, Jupiter is the Wheel of Fortune. It's 777. The spiritual abundance that you are building as you tap into this divine feminine energy. This internal, almost an internal, you are mothering, you are nurturing this divine feminine connection that you have with yourself and with the people that have gone before you. That, as I said, have knowingly or unknowingly left little clues for you. It's like a pirate map, isn't it? A treasure map. Now, the King of Pentacles if we think about a divine masculine energy is finance, foundation, stability, and you can have all of that. That's great. But if you don't have the intuition, the knowing, the nurturing, then you can have a billion things. I mean, you can have a great business, but a lack of connection with yourself. So what's the point of having, as an example, heaps of cash and a lovely home and a lovely car, but no real internal guidance? For me, on this spiritual journey, pentacles are almost the new wealth. Your spiritual health, your spiritual connection with yourself, this tapping in of your intuition is the new superpower. And I say that because if you're tapped into your intuition, something that's presented to you, and potentially something that's presented to you on a financial point of view, or something that's presented to you, that may come off as really great in a financial sense, in a practical sense, in a stability sense. But if your gut, your intuition is telling you not to do it, an out of balance divine masculine energy within can overpower any truths that are coming through on an intuitive level. But if you're tapped in to your divine feminine energy, if you're tapped into that inner knowing, that inner wisdom, that inner intuition, that inner nurturing of, yeah, okay, I might make great money on this, but it doesn't feel right, then you are protected. I am safe and divinely protected. That is Our Lady of Guadalupe. I just went to say Guatemala. That might be significant for somebody. The Empress of Protection. You are your own internal protection because you've tapped into your intuition. And tapping into your intuition can come in the way of, as I said, that road popped up. But for me, I'll be thinking about something. I've got 1,000 conversations going on in my mind at all times. And I'll be thinking about something, and then I'll walk past the TV, and an ad on the TV, somebody within the ad will say exactly what I'm just thinking. That for me is telling me, it's a confirmation that what I was thinking about was true or was correct. So you get it externally, but that inner knowing comes, and it's birthed. I want to say, when I think of the number 7 in the tarot, we've got the 7 of Pentacles, which is, what are you growing? What are you nurturing? It's the card of the farmer. Ironically, my grandfather who gave me this Bible was a farmer. Jacob in the Bible was a farmer, or a shepherd, which is what my grandfather was, a sheep and wheat farmer. So 7 in the tarot is the 7 of Pentacles, the seeds that you plant. The 7 of Wands in the tarot is almost a protecting, or you are protected, but you're protecting the seeds that you've planted, these intuitive seeds that you've planted on your journey to your divine, to tapping into your divine feminine energy. The 7 of Cups is the card of illusions, or the card of choices. Knowing intuitively exactly what you need to pick, because you are getting the information intuitively. And the 7 of Swords is a walking away of any sort of deception or illusion, because you're tapped in. We've got the Page of Wands on the bottom, the 7 of Swords. Isn't that funny? Walking away from any, I just said it, walking away from any deception or illusion. And if you look at those 2 swords that are there, stuck in the ground, to me that symbolizes that connection that you have with people from your past that have left little nuggets of wisdom, little pieces on this treasure map for you to find along the way, along your journey. Let's get one more. Wow, look at that. Justice. That is absolutely beautiful. If this is where you are, now all my readings are timeless. You might be in this, you might be, this obstacles are lessons in disguise. You might have had to go through some heartbreak in order to discover this information. Spiritual awakening. When people go through a spiritual awakening, it's often because they've gone through heartbreak or pain. It's a shedding of skin, shedding of things that are no longer important to you anymore. But to realize their importance, there has to be some pain. Obstacles are lessons in disguise. The Justice card is number 11. Again, that 1-1 number. The Justice card is Libra and Venus. It's a balancing of the scales. But as I said, Venus is divine feminine energy. There might have been some sort of legality that you've gone into. Maybe you've come to the realization that what is of financial value to you has no weight against the spiritual value of things. 3 of Swords, yeah, that you've gone through some sort of heartbreak in order to get this realization. And if I think about my grandfather, now they had a farm for many, many years that had been passed down through the generations. But intertwined in that farm, there was lots and lots of heartbreak. Children that had passed away on the farm, and a lot of pain. tied up in that farm. And so they retired early. They sold the farm and they spent the rest of their lives, I think they retired in their 40s, spent the rest of their lives traveling the world. I think they'd been to every single country. And perhaps because the realization that money was worth nothing, it was the spiritual journey that was most important in life. And maybe that's what you're learning through this heartbreak. The Three of Swords is Mercury in Cancer. Mercury again is communication. Cancer again. Chariot in the major arcana. Information that comes through to you. Okay, let's have a look at where you are headed. Two of Pentacles. Maybe you've got a decision to make. The Two of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. Yeah, the Hangman, which is Neptune. Page of Pentacles. Card of the Student. The Page of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo. Mercury again, communication. Virgo is in the major arcana. And funny, actually, because in this reading, I keep referring back to the connection between these cards that are coming out and the major arcana. Yesterday, I saw a card I'd never seen before. Had the word across the back of it, arcana. There's something here about connecting back to an origin, to connecting back to source. The Page of Pentacles is the card of the student. And the Page of Cups. Is the Moon in Pisces. That is beautiful. The Moon in Pisces. Pisces is our spirituality. Our hidden spirituality. I think perhaps you've started on this spiritual awakening because you've gone through some sort of trauma. Something has kicked it off, has been a catalyst. Some sort of trauma has been a catalyst, an obstacle. Something's happened. It's been an obstacle for this spiritual awakening that you've had. And now you're in the phase of putting the pieces together. I'm hearing this and that are true. The Two of Pentacles is a balance. Okay, this is what's happening in the 3D, but this is what intuitively I'm picking up on. The Hangman, sitting back. The Hangman in the original drawing of the card in the Rider-Waite Tarot is a guy who hangs himself upside down from a tree. And he's got a halo around his head. To get spiritual enlightenment, he's wanting an epiphany, a realization that the things that have happened have all played out the way that they're meant to happen, because there's messages for you in it, and potentially as this is playing out for you, there will be messages within the stories of it that will be meant for people within your lineage in 20 years time, in 30 years time, in 100 years time. It's all intertwined. It's this massive big timeline within your family lineage. The Hangman. Neptune. Neptune is going to the depths of the ocean to get the pieces of the treasure map or to find the clues. The Page of Pentacles is the card of the student. Mercury in Virgo. Mercury, as I said, is communication. And this is where I went off on a tangent. As I said, there's a thing that says my brain has too many tabs open. The Page of Pentacles is the card of the student. Mercury in Virgo. Mercury is communication, and Virgo in the major arcana is the Hermit card, which is the spiritual awakening. It's like the ever unfolding rose, peeling back layers and layers and layers. And the Page of Cups is the Moon in Pisces. The moon is what's hidden, and Pisces is spirituality. The hidden meanings within your lineage that you are starting to pick up on. And I think of that movie, The Da Vinci Code. If you haven't watched that movie, and I'd watched it once, maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago. I kind of really didn't pick up on much. I was like, oh yeah, you know. You watch that movie after you've had a spiritual awakening, oh my God, the messages that come through. Crazy. Layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of all of these hidden messages. Page of Cups. Page of Cups is also the card of the secret admirer. Secret hidden messages. The Knight of Wands that are coming to you. We had that card in the beginning. Hidden. He's up behind the tree. The Knight of Wands. Now, that did try to come out when I was shuffling before. The Knight of Wands is fast forward movement. The Knight of Wands is Mars in Sagittarius. The Knight of Wands is information that starts coming to you once you tap into this divine feminine energy, which is your intuition. And as I said, you know, within the connection between myself and my daughter, we can be having a conversation and literally we can be saying something and things are popping up like it's crazy. But it's almost something that you've got to work on. It's not like you wake up one day and you get all the information. I think that it would be too much to get it all in one. You know, it's over time, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds. It would be too confronting to get it all at once. And sometimes you get this epiphany where you go, oh, and it all pieces back. Like when I picked up that Bible. Okay, let's see if there's any more messages that your guides have. What's on the bottom? The Devil. The Devil is Saturn. It's Capricorn. But Saturn is karmic lessons. Obstacles are lessons in disguise. Things that you've had to go through in order to go through this spiritual awakening so that you can tap into this divine feminine energy. Potentially toxic things in your life that you've had to cut out in order to get that balance. Yeah, deception, Seven of Swords. That's the moon in Aquarius. The Tower, which is Mars energy. The Queen of Wands. One more. And the Queen of Cups. And the Three of Pentacles, another three. We've got a 3 and a 3 here. It's a crumbling away of any illusion. Sometimes the Queen of Wands can come across as a bit surface level. The Queen of Cups is highly intuitive. So it's tapping into this divine feminine energy, this internal, nurturing this internal divine feminine energy within you, this divine mother energy within you, in order to remove any illusion that you have. And you're getting it because the Three of Pentacles, your connection with yourself, your passed over loved ones, and the divine is being cemented because you've tapped into this energy. Okay, let's get you some messages. What messages do your angels, guides, ancestors have for you? Remain calm at this time. Mountain, the view from the top. I just heard slow and steady wins the race. Frustration. Maybe you want to get there quicker. It's all part of the journey. Divine intervention and evil eye. So you are protected. That was that main message that was coming through from Our Lady of Guadalupe, was you are protected, and it's because you are in a union. 3, you're in a divine union with your past, your present, and the divine. Divine intervention. If you're going the wrong way, unless it is a lesson that you're meant to learn, you will be guided, nudged. And I want to give you an example of that. And I have said it previously. If you hear my little dog tip-tapping across my timber floors, he is my angel, he is my protector. Probably about 18 months ago, and he barks at anything that comes to the door. Highly protective of anybody in this house. About 18 months ago, I was walking every morning. I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'd take him for a walk. And you see various people on your walks. And you always see the same people. And I didn't really think much of it. Until I had an encounter with a lady who wanted to start an argument with me about making sure that my dog had gone to the toilet before we left home, because she didn't think that it was right for people to allow their pets to pee or poo when they were being taken for a walk. Now, I'm very conscientious. I would never do something on somebody else's land or on the footpath or anything like that. Whenever he stopped to go to the toilet, it was always on council land, and I would always clean up, take my little doggy bags with me. And I was a bit taken aback by this argument because she was filming me whilst, and I was very calm whilst she was talking to me. And I stopped walking for a little bit, and I sat, remained calm at this time. In the silence, I was frustrated. And I was a bit afraid to go back out for a walk again. Unknowingly, evil eye, unknowingly, the divine had already stepped in that situation. Because a couple of months earlier, and I'd been walking for, 2 years with him. A couple of months earlier, now my dog doesn't ever wake up in the middle of the night unless he's unwell. Doesn't need to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. Very well trained. He woke up at 1:30 in the morning and he was scratching on the crate to get out, and I thought he must need to go to the toilet. So I took him out the front of my house at 1:30 in the morning, and this man who I'd always seen on my walks was walking up my street in front of my house at 1:30 in the morning with the dogs that he walked with in the morning. It was literally in front of my house. Well, my dog started barking. That was divine intervention by the man upstairs, letting me know that there was an issue. This particular man turned out to be the husband of the lady who filmed me, and he had been following me for months and months and months. I'd seen him every morning when I took my dog for a walk. How did my dog know of all the times, of all the nights, at the exact time that he was walking up my street? It was divine intervention. And I discovered this in the silence. You are always protected. If it doesn't serve you, cut it out. My husband now walks the dog. And he sits beside me while I do my readings. My connection with him is intuitive. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to go out walking on the street. Okay, let's have a look at what angel is protecting you. Well, that friendships. That's really lovely. That just slid out there. He's my little friend, my little furry friend. Friendships, and on the bottom, 62, wisdom and philosophy, information that's coming through to you. You may be getting guidance through animals, birds, If you see, a specific bird, or you're hearing a bird all the time, or at the moment dragonflies are flying in my backyard, tons of them. Butterflies, a transformation. Heaps and heaps and heaps of messages. Spiders. Actually, yesterday, we've got big retaining walls around our house. And I don't know what it was, whether it was a mouse but ran across my back deck. Oftentimes, when people leave food out, not in my house, but in neighbours and stuff like that, if people leave food out for their dogs or their cats and stuff, it will bring things in. But there's messages within everything. And it was funny because it kind of ran across and ran under one of my outdoor chairs, and I thought, was that what I thought it was? And I second guessed myself, and then all of a sudden my dog come flying down the veranda. He'd seen it too. He picked up on it too. Okay, let's get you. Actually, I want to have a look at that. I want to have a look at this friendships card. I want to see if there's any more information. Interesting. It's the Page of Pentacles. That angel aligns with the Page of Pentacles, which is the card of the student. Messages coming to you through your friendships with animals, with people around you. Hidden little nuggets of wisdom. Okay, let's get you a moon oracle card. Once in a blue moon, dare to believe in the impossible. We just had a blue moon this year, actually. Last month, the month before. The colour blue might be significant. The colour blue actually aligns with the Virgin Mary. If you notice, whenever you see her image, she's always in blue and white. The Virgin Mary is the Divine Mother. She's the ultimate Divine Mother. And she is Our Lady of Guadalupe, just obviously in a different language. Okay, let's have a look at what you are working on at the moment. Currently, the North Node is in Aries. The South Node is in Libra. They've been there for 18 months. They change in January to the North Node goes into Pisces. The South Node goes into Virgo. So it's this change between spirituality and releasing of practicality. This King of Pentacles here. North Node in the 8th house, which is Scorpio, which is death and rebirth, Pluto. Your North Node chilling in the 8th house. Time to break out of that cozy bubble. Wave goodbye to the familiar and dive deep into forging strong bonds with yourself and your tribe. Strong bonds with yourself is your divine feminine energy, and your tribe is your lineage, as in the people and the messages and the hidden secrets that lie within those people that have come before you. 8th house, as I said, is Scorpio. It's death and rebirth. It's a new you. North Node in the 2nd house. Now that is our 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. Taurus, as I said before, is the Empress card, is Venus. Taurus is also the Hierophant, which is God. If your North Node swings by the 2nd house, get ready to unearth your deepest desires and pump up that self-worth to conquer the world. Your secret weapon, finding enchantment in life's tiny marvels. Like I said, those messages hidden in that Bible. Little things. If you're feeling like crow's just landed on my back fence, big black crow. He's got a little red seed, fruit from a tree. Take the red pill. Might be something in the matrix. Maybe you've been taking the wrong pill. Finding enchantment in life's tiny marvels. These things, oftentimes I find things when I'm doing a big clean out. If you've got the urge to clean out, to declutter, it's because you're being prompted by your guides, your angels, your ancestors, because there's something you're meant to find. South Node in Virgo, that's where we're going next year. South Node in Virgo is all work and no play, thanks to Mercury's Labor vibes. It's like thinking earning is safer than receiving, believing you can't accept gifts, and that trust is a rare gem. It's where we cozy up spiritually. Okay, so what that's saying is that we are going collectively into a time where we will recognize that putting all our time and focus into earning things on a financial, building wealth financially is not actually where we need to be. We need to start building our wealth, our spiritual wealth, on a spiritual level by tapping into that spirituality, by tapping into that inner divine feminine. And as I said to you, there are messages everywhere. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out. My daughter was moving from one room to another. I was cleaning out rooms and I found a Coldplay album cover, and I can't remember which one it was. An album cover, a Coldplay album cover, and a train ticket. She was in Japan and she bought this Coldplay album in a record store in Japan. Now, the cover of the album has got the date. I think it's the 22nd of November, 1919. Anyway, it was a date of this massive solar eclipse. But the irony was that she'd bought the album, unknowingly bought the album in this record store in Japan on the same date, the 22nd of November, 2019, 100 years later. It's that sort of thing that you find when you're within this purging process, clearing things out. Decluttering is what I want to say. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get you a song. True, Spandau Ballet. What I just said was true. This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound. I bought a ticket to the world, but now I've come back again. I want the truth to be said. Hidden messages everywhere. I'm yours, Jason Mraz. It's a reconnection with yourself. And nothing's going to stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some. Iris, the Goo Goo Dolls. Now that's from the movie Armageddon, which has been coming through. That actually came through yesterday in the reading that I did for the eclipse and the two moons. There is a moon. It's actually an asteroid that's in the sky. That's how you'll know, Amy Adams. There is an asteroid in the sky and it'll be here for the next 2 months. It's coming through and it's making a horseshoe loop around the world. It's only about 33 feet long, 10 meters long. FT5, I think it's called. But essentially, the way the sun will shine on it, and we won't be able to see it with the naked eye, but the way the sun will shine on it, it will look like the world has got, or the earth has got 2 moons for the next 2 months. Now, if you go and have a look at that meaning, that reading from yesterday, the asteroid has markings on the outside of it, and the markings are about spiritual awakening. And as we lead into this Pisces North Node change in January, it's just incredible that this asteroid is coming through. But the markings on the side are literally about spiritual awakening, tapping in. That's how you'll know. Hidden meanings in things that we didn't put there. God put them there. Okay, now I'm going to get you 3 cards. This is messages from your higher self. This is my love messages deck. There are romantic messages in here, but obviously this isn't a romance reading. You are often on my mind. Messages from your higher self. Connecting with your mind. Soul awakening. Through this soul awakening that you are going through. Whoa. those back because that's too many. Except for that one. I know there is important things we need to discuss, which is happening through this soul awakening. I want to try reconnecting. Okay, let's have a look. Scrabble tiles. Could be your first, middle, last initial part of a spiritual journey that you are going on. I always say when ones are stood up like that, because there's lots of cards on the table, it's not a flat surface. They shouldn't stand up like that. There is special significance in these ones. An S and a 1. A B and a 3. Maybe somebody that you've had an experience with that's caused heartbreak. A and a 1. A W and a 4. Somebody that you need to cut out with a saw. Part of the spiritual awakening that you've gone through. A H and a 4. An F and a 4. An R and a 1. An O and a 1. A U and a 1. An L and a 1. Ow. AU might have something to do with Australia. An owl, a wise old owl. Owls are tapping into your... If you think, remain calm at this time, owls just sit and they wait and then they pounce. A Y and a 4. A V and a 4. An X and an 8. A G and a 2, a P and a 3, and a C and a 3. Let me just see if there's any words in there that I can pull through. When I look at that, I see heifer. So I don't know if you know, but in Jerusalem at the moment, they have got 5 heifers that were bred in Texas. They're red, pure. They have to be red. Something about them being red. That was what was in the crow's mouth. A little red seed, a little red piece of fruit. Something about red here. They have to be red, these heifers, and they're going to be sacrificed when they build the new temple, because obviously the first 2 Jewish temples were destroyed. And they're going to sacrifice these heifers to build the new temple. But in order to build the new temple, they have to destroy the Muslim temple, which is Alaska Mosque. And it's funny because Our Lady of Guadalupe, the story of her, once the apparitions were believed, they built, and I think it's the top 3rd or the 3rd highest place in the world where pilgrims go, is this Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and it's somewhere in Mexico, the 3rd most visited religious site on the planet. But it was built on the top of where the Spanish had destroyed the temple. How interesting that that comes through. And interesting that my surname, my maiden name, not my surname now, but my maiden name is Jacob. And we've got references here to things being destroyed, temples being destroyed. And Jacob, that's in the Bible, Jacob is the name that was equated to Israel. That might have some significance. Jacob's troubles. I just heard 7 years of feast, 7 years of famine. I don't know why that's coming through. Okay, I'm going to get you. Perhaps you're looking for answers. 3. That's the 3 Abrahamic faiths: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. Maybe something that you've been financially tied to doesn't align with you spiritually. And perhaps that's part of this big spiritual awakening. Okay, finally, I'm going to ask your guides for 3 cards. final message for you in this spiritual awakening, spiritual connection with your divine feminine energy. Wow, that's Saturn. Saturn is your karmic teacher, lessons that you're meant to learn in this lifetime. The world. It's the end of a cycle for you and the beginning of a tapping in. How exciting. You know, I would say to you that this past 4 years when I've really tapped into my spirituality has been the most enjoyable, the most connected that I have ever been with my faith, with myself. And if you're starting this process, then your mind is going to be blown at how everything is intertwined. What else do they have for you? Wow, wow, wow. Ace of Cups. Now, we did have that. That was the first card out. The Ace of Cups, a reconnecting with your spirituality and a defending of your ability to do that in whatever way you choose. And I'll give you an example of that. So my kids, I'm Catholic, Christian, Catholic. My kids are baptized Catholic. At 18, my daughter changed faiths. She converted to Islam. That was also part of my spiritual awakening. How do I mother this child if, you know, Our Lady of Guadalupe, how do I mother this child if I don't understand the decision that she's made? Now, totally in alignment and totally in support of her. But it's, you know, seeing things from a different perspective. And if I think of my grandfather, now he was Christian, but in his later life and through his travels all around the world, really had a connection with Israel. Traveled there many times. So within my life, we've got 3 faiths or 3 different points of view. Nine of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this happens. The Nine of Pentacles is my Mother Mary card. The Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. The divine feminine is Venus. And Virgo is, well, the root word of Virgo and Virgin come from the same Latin root word. The Nine of Pentacles is freedom. It's spiritual freedom once you tap in. But that's Mother Mary. Venus in Virgo. The divine feminine and the Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe. This reading is beautiful. And the irony here is that in all 3 faiths, in all of those Abrahamic faiths, they all believe in Mary. You can be connected with people from your past, even if you have differences with them. And you're meant to remain connected with them because there is information that they have for you that you are intuitively meant to tap into. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. This was so interesting. This reading will be in a playlist of The Rise of the Divine Feminine. Feel free to go through that playlist. There are other readings in there, all different ways that we are tapping into our divine feminine energy. If this reading, and now the other thing I was going to say, the 911. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you want to be notified of future readings, hit the notification bell. As I said, if you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. I will list those songs as well. You're welcome to have a look at the lyrics or the video clips if there is any. There might be more messages in there for you. All the best on your spiritual journey, and I will see you again in another reading.